No stinky. You're such a good boy. All right. I'm going to try. Okay. Cute.
Hello and welcome to the woods. It's just so freaking beautiful today, and like all the leaves are so splendid. It just felt like being in the woods today. Anyway, today I really want to share all of the crochet sweaters that I've made. I guess I just want to dive a little bit deeper into them. So let's talk about some sweaters. I get asked about this sweater all the time. I don't have a tutorial for it, sorry. But it's this scrap yarn sweater. I wear this sweater all the time. I love making scrap yarn sweaters because it always challenges me to put together different yarns and different colors that I would never really like think to. And I love the stitch that I used too. I used a triple crochet stitch. It just makes it like nice and like airy and like not too hot. The one downside about making scrap yarn sweaters is that the entire time I'm thinking like, is this ugly? Is this ugly? But I love, love, love this sweater. Okay, this next sweater that I'm gonna talk about is another one of like my faves. I wear it all the time. It's this striped sweater and it has a balaclava attached to it. And I just love the fit. I really like the cuffs on this too. I like that they're not too tight. And it is just like the coziest fitting sweater ever. I feel like Emma Chamberlain would want to wear the sweater. Just something about like the sleeves and the cuffs and where it hits. I just love it. And I have a tutorial for it too. This sweater is actually the first sweater cardigan I ever made. It is the Harry Styles sweater, or my take on it. And I just used yarn that I already had. I kind of chose a different color palette because this is a yarn that I had. So it's like a very cool, like fall color palette. The, you know, J.W. Anderson sweaters, it has that like very homemade quality to it. That was nice because it didn't stop me from leaning into that homemade feeling. I still wear the sweater, but I just see so many like technical issues with it. I really want to like remake it, but way better now because I'm a lot better crocheter than when I made this. So there's a part of me that wants to like recreate my own recreation. I like the sweater and I still wear it. This sweater is actually the first like raglan sweater I've ever made. I really like the stitch. It's a triple treble stitch. I liked, you know, mixing up the triple treble like loosey-goosey stitches with a more tighter stitch. I really like the colors that I chose for this. I really like the sleeves, how the sleeves are just kind of like open and not super cuffed. I want to make another sweater like this because I love this stitch so much. I think I just want to improve upon it and do maybe like a collar situation. This sweater, dare I say, is Pinterest famous. And my Harry Styles sweater as well is also Pinterest famous. So we're basking in Pinterest royalty right now with these sweaters. This next sweater I made last fall. It's just one of those like off the shoulder cozy sweaters. It has like ribbon going down the side and I just let the ribbon be nice and dangly, which I really like. I don't really wear this a lot. It's hard wearing those off the shoulder sweaters because you literally can't move. The second you move your arm, the sweater is like cockeyed and it's like, what are we doing here? So it's kind of annoying to wear, not gonna lie. I feel like if I recreated this, I could use like different yarn so it just like looks a little less bulky. But that being said, I like this. I like the concept of it. I just know that like I could probably like improve upon this pattern. I love taking photos with her. I mean, she's a great photo shoot sweater. Everybody loves the sweater and I don't have a tutorial for it. It's another scrap yarn sweater, or I guess it's more like a shrug. And with this sweater, I just really wanted to play around with like lots of different stitches and also just playing around with like the placement of like where I put my hook in each stitch and just kind of like playing around around with like what certain yarns look like when you place your hook in certain parts of the stitches, you know. And honestly, I just like let the back be like scrappy, and I didn't even really bother with like weaving in any ends. I think that kind of plays into the sweater, like that's what she wanted to be. And I also loved this like scalloped moment at the bottom as well. It's not like usually how I accomplish my scallops, but I really like what I did down here. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to recreate it though, so there's that. I should just make a scrappy sweater tutorial because it seems like a lot of people really like the scrap yarn sweaters. This is like my most recent cardigan that I finished, and I love her, and I'm so obsessed with her. I use my Wildflower Cardigan pattern, but I just changed my hook size and I changed my yarn. It's a little bit like thicker, a little bit like denser than like my OG Wildflower Cardigan. I just love her. It's just so grandma, it's so me. I just love mixing together the different yarn that I have. I am someone that I buy yarn and then I figure it out later. It's more of a challenge, I guess. I'm trying to figure it out. I just always like to challenge myself and see if I can come up with like cool or unique color combinations that like really tickles that part of my brain, you know. I also love my Wildflower sweater as well. She's just out on loan right now, so that's why she's not in the video. This is a very important piece just for me as an artist and in my crochet career, I guess. This is very important and will hopefully be in a museum one day. My own museum of my own things. It's this. This is a nice, super chunky shrug. The yarn is from my OG girls, Marge, Madge, and Midge, and this is yarn that I completely processed myself. I didn't send it to a mill. Johnny helped me as well. Johnny, you get your credit. What do? We washed it, I carded it, I spun it, I washed it again. I feel like it still smells like sheep. Like I'm gonna have to wash this 8 million times to get the sheep smell out, but maybe it's just like ingrained in my nose at this point. I digress. And this is like the first ever skeins of yarn that I spun myself on my spinning wheel. The yarn is just so chunky and interesting, and I wasn't good at spinning, you know, at the time. It's just all like a little funky. I'll never be able to recreate yarn like this because now I'm just too skilled. The downside is it's kind of hard to wear. Let's talk about it. Even though this is a rather like simple and really, really cool piece that I love so much, and I think it just looks so chic, just looks so it just like hits, you know. I find it hard to style because A, it is so warm, because the yarn is so chunky and bulky. It's just so freaking warm. It's a little hard to style this just for like a casual bonfire. I don't know, it almost looks like historic to me. Does that sound weird? I just feel like, you know, a little witchy baddie in the woods from like the 1800s would love this. So this is one of the first ever shrugs that I made. I use a pattern by Chedna DIY here on YouTube, and then I just was really inspired by like black and white cookies, so I made it like black and white cookie themed. I wore this a lot when I first made it, and then I kind of stopped wearing it. It's like a little small, like it's really, you're really in there. I like to have movement. I need to be able to just like do a cartwheel at any moment in time, you know? I could really go for a black and white cookie right now, actually. I want to talk about the sweater that I made for Johnny as well. I'm really proud of that sweater just because it's so giant. Johnny's arms are so long. He likes oversized stuff. I literally powered through just because like it's so big. People talk about Sleeve Island. You don't know anything about Sleeve Island until you've made a sweater for a man with a 6-foot wingspan, okay? Okay. I wanted to make it just so him. If Johnny was a sweater, this would be the sweater that he is. I'm very girly, my style is very girly, my art is very girly, so it was like an interesting challenge, like having to make something that like looks and reads like very masculine, you know? It's not really like my forte. And then to do like all the X's and like the X face and stuff like that, because it had to be emo. I just simply like embroidered that on using like a slip stitch. And like that, it was like so easy. I like what I did with the collar, how I kind of doubled up like the white and the navy yarn to get this like chunky, like just really cool, almost like sporty looking collar. And I also like what I did with the bottom band as well, like the stripes just kind of gives it that like vintagey, sporty look. I kind of looked at the other sweaters that he'd had, and I kind of looked at what those collars and trims look like. I just like those little touches. I like those little touches a lot. And I love that he loves it so much and he wears it all the time. That was That was a project and a half. It's literally like a dress on me. The sleeves, when I try it on, it's like those like ASMR girls on TikTok who do like the skincare ASMR, and all of their sleeves are like this, and they have like all of like the lotion, and you're like, girl, pull up your sleeves, you're gonna get the lotion on your sleeves. Is it just me? Am I the only one that feels like that? You know what I'm talking about? So this is like another one of those like half and half, like split dye, like shrugs, but I just did like a raglan shrug. And yeah, I really like it. The collar's like a little big. I wish the collar was a little bit smaller for my taste, more of like a crew neck, but whatever, it's fine. I love red and pink together. It's like one of my favorite color combinations. I made matching gloves, and I also made a matching balaclava as well, and it's like a whole fit, and it's really cute. I love a shrug. It's just nice and layered, and it brings a lot of interest to an outfit and the silhouette, and yeah. Okay, this is the last sweater, and also like kind of an honorable mention because it is a sweater vest, but this bulky little woman, and she doesn't get the love that she deserves. Honestly, I feel like I don't really wear this a lot because it's just so bulky and structured, and you know, I'm a flouncy, slouchy girl. Like, that's what I like and gravitate towards, because I just think it's so unique, and it's so giant, and it's so bulky. Like, she needs her own moment. So I guess what is next? What are the vibes for like my next batch of like crochet sweaters that I want to make? I really like patchwork stuff, and I really want to get into doing more color work stuff. I really want to explore doing like more text color work, like text on sweaters, and like making my own fandom merch like for the things that I love, like Twilight and Bravo. I really want to do that, so I might focus on that this winter. You know, something has to really like be calling out in my brain for me to make it. I kind of have to like become obsessed with the idea of something in my brain before I'm like, okay, I can actually really make this, you know? I'm just kind of like waiting for my next like obsession to occur. Those are all of my sweaters. I also have a ton of vests. So if you're interested in seeing my like crochet vest / sweater vest collection, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Yeah, all the links for all the patterns, if there is a pattern, will be in my description, so please check that out. You know the drill. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see